good YouTube? This is NeoNexudus here, Road to the WCQ Day 3. This is actually Day 3 now. The previous video would be Day 2, but recorded today because of, obviously, the errors I mentioned in the previous video. We're getting to the point. This video is going to be talking about Rouge Decks and how I feel I'm going to fare against them if I go up against them at the WCQ. Now, as evidenced by all the American YCSs and the YCSs over here in Europe and the UK, there's always been prone to be, you know, rogue decks. Decks that don't conform to your top lists of the Insectors, the Dino Rabbits, the Chaos Dragons, the Heretics, etc. Rogue decks can consist of things like, I don't know, Anti-Meta, Chain Burn, Karakuris, Machinas, you know, things that aren't in the tops. You know, decks that you normally wouldn't see outside of, say, local tournaments. Since the WCQ is going to be like a local tournament, except slightly bigger, of course we're going to be seeing a lot more of the top tier decks, but we can't ignore the lower tier decks of Machine and Gadgets, Chain Burn, Anti-Meta, Karakuri, and all the rest of them. So, how will I deal against these rogue decks? Well, you can't ever plan to side against rogue decks. You never know what you're going to go up against. But luckily with my sideboard, it deals with a number of problems. Shadow and Light Imprisoning Mirror deal with any dark or light attributed deck. So that deals with Light Sworn, deals with Dark Lords, as well as the higher tier decks of Insectors. It can also deal with other such, I don't know, random chaos decks, you know, actual chaos decks that people might have tried to build and stuff. Against things like Machine and Gadget and Karakuri, I've got Electric Virus. Electric Virus is a card that allows me to take control of Dragon or Machine type monsters on the opponent's side of the field. So I can use that against them. Possibly take control of their Cyber Dragon and, you know, contact views into their stuff. Of course, I will need to put a Chimera deck in my extra deck, or at least side deck, if I plan to do that. But it gives me control over their monsters. Basically, I can X these with. It will probably be my main strategy. If I could take control of a gadget or a gear frame, or some other level 3 or 4 monster that is attributed to the Machine archetype, since we're on the Machine archetype at the moment, I will overlay and steal their monster essentially. And when I go to detach, obviously you detach your monster before you detach theirs, because you don't want them getting their monster back in their graveyard until you want them to. One of the benefits of things like Mind Control and these little hand trap monsters. 6 Samurais are definitely a force to be reckoned with. I wouldn't so much go as say they are rogue deck, but they are a deck that isn't up there. Obviously, not part of the top cut. They're a very good deck, but obviously they lack a little bit of luster compared to some of the other decks. So 6 Samurais, what can I use against 6 Samurais? Well, I have 2 pipeline decided for those. I can take control of their Shien, I can take control of their Kizans, and other things like that. And, you know, smack them in the face with it, overlay with them, synchro with them, you name it. So, Pipeline deals with that. Gravekeepers. How can I deal with Gravekeepers? I can deal with them via Pipeline, since Gravekeepers are all spellcasters. Other than that, I don't really need to worry about Gravekeepers, apart from the Gravekeeper Spy, which is a 2k defender. 2/4 under Necro Valley, which is a pain in the arse, because none of my monsters are 2/4 or above, unless they are under Forbidden Chalice, such as Photon Saber Tiger or Photon Thrasher, or Beast King Barbaros, boosting them up to a total of 3,400. So, a 2/4 defender that, when flip summoned, when flipped face up, rather, can smash out another Gravekeeper from the deck, can be rather problematic. But that's where I got my skill drain in my Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror will shut down all of Gravekeeper's effects, since they are all dark attributed. combine that with puppet plants, in which I take control of their monsters, I reckon I'm going to fare pretty well. And against the Necrovalley threat, I don't really need to worry, because of the fact of I have triple MST and a Heavy Storm within my deck, plus a Dark Bribe. Now, Necrovalley alone does not bother me in the slightest, because I do not rely on the graveyard. The only thing that relies on the graveyard would be my Monster Reborn, and I can easily work around that. So, Gravekeepers, I'm not too worried about. Anti-meta. Now, if I see any anti-meta decks in this WCQ, that will be interesting, because people refer to my deck as a rather anti-meta-ish type deck as well. So, usually what happens in 2 anti-meta plays is the strongest player wins. So, hopefully I am the strongest player. Because it's quite literally, it comes down to the fact of, mainly, the fact of you just beat each other down. You know, they may be using things like Roll Decrees, which can really hurt me, but hopefully I will see my triple MST, my Dark Bribe, and my Heavy Storm. And you can only hope for that, really, because I'm not sideboarding any extra Spurn Trap Destruction. I know Night Beam is out, unfortunately I don't have any of those at the moment, but that won't help me against a face-up Roll Decree now, will it? No, since it only destroys face-down cards. So, with 4 cards to destroy or negate Spurn Traps, I think I'm standing a fair chance. Things like Dooncaliber Knight don't really bother me. I can force that negation out by wasting a Saber Tiger, or I can beat over it with a Photon Thrasher. I believe Dooncaliber Knight cannot negate Photon Thrasher's special summon, since it's an inherent special summon, and only Thunder King will be able to negate that. But, you know, obvious, like Steelspawn Roach and things like that. So I believe it's a summoning condition, not an effect, because it says it cannot be summoned by other ways. So if that is the case, I can smack over the Dooncaliber Knight with a 2-1 beat stick. What else do I anti-meta run? Run things like Thunder King. I can clash into a Thunder King with my own Thunder King. Special summon a Photon Thrasher, bait out the Thunder King, or just simply smack over it for 300. I can run over it with a Rush Rhino, since Rush Rhino goes up to 2k. You know, I have a few answers for 1900 beaters. Fossil Dinopachycephalo. My deck does not special summon a massive amount. The event of its special summoning is pretty much 3 Photon Thrasher and any overlays I do into Xyz monsters. So even then, I don't, you know, overlay that much, because I usually prefer to have my multiple monsters on the board rather than one Xyz monster that's vulnerable to something like a Smashing Ground. Because I have played against me before. I've gone 2 Saber Tigers, you know, obviously gotten the plus of it, and then overlaid into something like a Leviathan Dragon. Next turn they draw and play Smashing Ground, and my field is left wide open. At least with 2 Saber Tigers on the field, although one Saber Tiger would drop down to 12, I would still have a monster on the field, so I'd take less damage. So, you know, that's my thought. I don't really overlay unless I need to get over something, with things like Utopia, or need to get rid of something by, you know, it having weaker defense, in which I go to Maze Stroke, because my stroke's better than yours. Flip it face down and run its ass over, shit like that. But yeah, I don't special summon that much, so Fossil Dino won't be that big of an issue. It's only on 1200 and 1300 defense. 1200 attack, 1300 defense rather. So it is pretty easy to get around it. King Tiger Wanku does not affect my deck. The only thing it would affect would probably be Photon Saber Tiger. So yeah, I'm not that worried about anti-meta. It could be rather challenging, could be rather fun. So, you know, I doubt I'll be facing anything that's too unexpected, although you always have to expect the unexpected with this game, because that's the way things roll. You know, you don't expect something, and then BAM! You know, beats your ass down. You're like, how the hell did this happen? Dark Worlds. What can I say about Dark Worlds, really? Sharon Presley Mirror. Sharon Presley Mirror, Fossil Diner. That's my answers to Dark Worlds, really. So, yeah. I'm interested to see what kind of rogue decks would be played at this WCQ, of course, because I myself might be classed as a rogue deck player. You know, zombies, chaos zombies rather. My obviously Photon TG deck, and I've also built a water deck now. It's not highly competitive, but it has the ability to spam rank 3s. It's a very good deck tester deck, if you like. If someone wants to test their deck and see, you know, if it's up to competitive standard, my water deck is there for that simple reason. Because what it does, it spams rank 3s and it can spam level 5s. With such cards as Deep Sea Diva, Hammer Shark, Shark Stickers, and Salmon Eater, Neo Sunfish, etc, etc, etc. So, you know, I'll probably do a deck profile of that sometime later today. Can't really think of much else to talk about, really. So this is NeoNexudus signing out. Catch you all later for day 4.